Okay, ready and
cheers! Welcome everyone to Fromage with Friends. This is our 8th Fromage with Friends. Can you believe we've been doing this for so long?
Can you believe it?
I still sweat every time. I still get nervous.
Sweat? I thought we were talking about cheese sweat,
Oh,
or that's
okay,
later. But my name is Sarah. This is Christina. She's going to be giving us all the facts. Rachel's got a bunch of facts too. I'll be sitting here eating, drinking, talking about the wine, all kinds of fun things. Gina is behind the camera. She is going to be fielding all the questions. You don't have to have, oh, there she is. Usually she shows her wine. But you don't have to have a YouTube account to type up any questions. So just type them in. She'll let us know what questions you have along the way. We've got our plate here. Do you want to describe what's on the plate?
Yeah, absolutely. So my lovely assistant will hold up the plate.
I don't know how close I can.
You're gonna,
right.
There we go. Okay, cool. So obviously we've got the crackers on the left, and so the very first cheese is going to be Manchego El Trogal, and then right next to it on the top is going to be Fiore Sardo DOP, and then let's go down to the bottom left. That's the third one we're going to try. That's Pecorino Toscano, and then the fourth is going to be Pecorino Romano, and then in the very middle is Boschetto al Tartufo, and that will be our last cheese. And then we have a bunch of yummy accoutrements on there. We have some olive tapenade, the darker, almost black spread. Below that is membrillo. And then we have, I kept saying it wrong earlier.
Quince paste. For
Quince
those
paste,
who don't know what membrillo is.
And then we have Castelvetrano olives over here. We have fresh blueberries. We have Turkish apricot. Are these
Cherries.
Cherries, and then berries, cranberries, dried cherries. And then we have dried fava beans in the corner. Oh, and chestnut honey is in the other cup. And did I get everything?
I think so.
I think so.
I think so, yeah. So if you don't know what we're talking about aged sheep cheeses today. And what makes sheep cheese so special? Oh, you want to talk about the wine first?
Oh, yeah, of course. So this is from Ribera del Duero. It's 100% Tempranillo. It is also a DOP, like the Fiore Sardo, but we'll talk about that, what that means a little bit later. I wanted to pair something with, in my head, I always think aged sheep cheese. I think of Spain, even though there's only one Spanish cheese on the plate. But here we are. And so I wanted something heavy too, because I feel like these cheeses could really use a nice, rich red. And it was funny, we chose this wine for this other work event thing we're trying to do, and Christina's like, oh, the wine's already chosen, you chose it without me? And I was like, just try it today when you get to work. And she's like, tastes like juice, it's delicious. And so that means it's great, because Christina doesn't drink as heavily as the rest of us. But we hope you like it. Try it with the cheeses, see what you like best. If you're drinking something else at home, let us know if it pairs nicely, but we'll see how it goes.
You know what would probably pair really nicely?
Bubbles.
Our
favorite, but
yes.
you have to
I can
choose
drink
something
bubbles.
different.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Yes.
Good.
All right. So,
What
sheep
are we doing
cheese.
first?
We are going to try Manchego first in the upper left-hand corner, but I wanted to talk about the milk. Feel free to eat, but what makes sheep cheese so special is its milk. It's extremely high in protein, fat, and a bunch of other minerals, way more than cow, goat, or even water buffalo milk. That's what makes it so great for cheese making, because it has the most solid content, that high fat, the high protein. It takes 4 pounds of sheep's milk to make 1 pound of cheese, whereas cow's milk is 8 pounds to make 1 pound of cheese. But sheep don't produce as much milk as cows, and sheep are naturally a animal, like a prey. So when they get milk, they get really scared easily, and when they get scared, they get pumped full of adrenaline, and then that causes the oxytocin to get all mixed up, and then they're not producing as much, so they're not relaxed. They're like on edge.
Does the milk taste funny too?
We can find out. So I thought it would be fun.
What? This is a surprise second.
Yeah,
This is
no
a
one told us
blind-
about this.
I wanted to do a blind milk test, but I can't get sheep's milk, so we did yogurt. So
They have goat milk, right?
They did.
Yeah.
They did. So I thought it'd be fun to try it, because I bet you the sheep tastes gross, but we'll find out. So let's see if I remember.
I bet it's gonna taste good. Just if we're betting. I don't know.
S is for sheep, right?
Why are you cheating? Mix them up.
I will. You gave me 2 S's.
Mm.
Three S's now.
I'm nervous.
This is going really well.
I have a cow and a sheep. Here's some
I
more
have
sheep.
oh wait.
Well, good. I didn't write the last one.
Mix them up.
Cow.
We should have rehearsed
Okay.
this,
The
guys.
sheep,
Okay.
visually the sheep is a lot wider.
Look, this is gonna be like, do you ever go to a
Catchy.
baseball game and they're like, watch for the cup, and then you like do the thing.
All right.
Which
Okay.
one has the ball under it?
Feel free
Okay,
to
so
put-
should we just taste a little bit of each of them?
Yeah, and then see which
This
one.
one looks watery. I'm uninterested in this
Oh.
one.
Wait, let me see yours.
I don't know. I
Which
just want
one's
to
the
try
right
the
one?
sheep.
Right?
Which one do you think looks watery?
I'm
This
sorry.
one.
I agree with you, but you're not gonna.
Oh, it's cow.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of weird yogurt did you get?
They're all plain.
Whole Foods organic.
Yeah,
Boy,
it's very
Is
expensive.
it brown cow? Okay, this one's.
This is just for you guys to laugh at home. See our faces.
Wait, are there supposed to be 4?
No, only 2. That's cow.
Look,
All right. So how many total are there?
There's
4 total.
I found a
oh,
sheep.
Oh no.
That's sour.
Woo!
Oh.
Has anyone watching tried sheep's yogurt before or sheep's milk? I'm curious to know.
The texture looks a lot nicer than the cow.
It does.
Yeah, because of the fat.
Yeah, so the 4th one is oat milk.
Oh.
I'm surprised.
Why did you get that one?
I don't like the goat tastes sweet.
The goat is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Yeah, and it's plain.
Guys, get some goat's milk yogurt.
No, thank you.
Really?
They must have sugar in here.
It must be because yeah. And oat doesn't taste very good.
But I feel like the sheep one would make a good frozen yogurt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, it's crazy. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like this is a sheep's milk yogurt. It's so glossy.
It looks like sour cream.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that compared to like the cow, which you would be like, oh yeah, great, but it's like kind of watery and I don't know. And the goat's milk one is sweet, so you don't like the sheep? I kind of like the sheep.
And it's surprising because like sheep only eat like the top part of the grass, the top of the blade. They're very bougie. They're like, I don't want anything but the top part. Like, you know, when you eat just the pepperoni off a pizza, like that's what they're doing.
Sure,
Yep.
that's so bougie. We can all agree when you eat the pepperoni off the pizza.
Grass snobs. So they don't eat no grains or alfalfa, just pure
Just grass.
100% top of the blade grass.
So is all sheep's milk cheese grass fed then?
Yeah, yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. But you know, they say it's gamey, but there's a lot of undertones, which we'll find on the plate. So
Because the sheep's milk yogurt just tastes like extra tangy to me. I don't taste any like barnyard or like how we
No.
might normally describe. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So anyway,
it was way more
interesting.
sour. Yeah. Okay.
I'm still eating it.
Thank you for dealing with us. We can move on. Thank you.
Surprises.
All
I
right.
get to the cheese part that I actually enjoy.
All right.
This isn't dairy class.
Yeah, this isn't a sheep milk product class.
Whatever. Anyways.
I thought it was great,
Thank you.
Christina.
Thank you.
I thought it was really fun.
All right. Manchego El Tregal. So if you're just now joining us, top left corner. And it's going to have the brown rind with almost like these lines running through it. So as a reminder, always like smell the cheese and then you can like see the texture and then
I'm putting some fresh
Can
rosemary on mine.
can I taste it with the quince?
please, yes. It is a wonderful pairing and we'll get to what it is and all that in a moment. So El Tregal, so Manchego El Tregal, Tregal means wheat. So
Oh, really?
yeah, and then mild aroma, like it has a lot of flavor. This particular one we're trying is aged 12 months. It's probably the most well-known Spanish cheese. It dates back to the Bronze Age, and it comes from the La Mancha region. And the milk comes from Manchego sheep, and it's got protection status since 1984, and it can only be made in 4 provinces, and it has to be made with Manchego milk, and aged a minimum of 30 days, a maximum of 2 years, and there's also a height requirement.
Of the wheel?
Yeah, to
Oh,
be able
cool.
to be called. So it has to be
To go on the roller coaster?
to go on the roller coaster of cheese. Yes. So it can be no taller than 4.7 inches and no wider than 8.7.
Wow.
Where's our ruler? Why didn't you tell me?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We need to check it out.
I do. Because there are a lot of cheeses that sometimes come in really tall, really short.
Mm-hmm.
Like Pecorino Toscano, which we'll taste later.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're really tall and sometimes
Yeah.
they're really short.
Yeah.
That's true.
But Manchego's like solid.
Yep.
Always the same.
Yep. To be labeled as
Awesome. That's
protected.
good.
Yeah.
Guys, I kind of think Manchego is like a little boring. Not that it's not good. I don't know. It's good. We have so many other cheeses with like more. That's more
like
flavorful.
Taxi Cab Confessions, but cheesemonger confessions. You're
That's
like,
why
I know,
really
should I
like
not
the
be
one
saying
with,
this?
I really like the one with rosemary. No, they want to know what we think.
just because there's so much else out there, and I really love the Goudas, and I really love like Alpine cheeses. So
I'm gonna try with the top.
that's what I'm basing my comparison off of. And Manchego's like, okay.
Yeah, and I feel like you'll find us suggesting, not that Manchego's bad. Again, it's amazing with this quince paste. The other day I shaved it on top of some jamon serrano to make a little sandwich. Like, it has its place for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been suggesting a lot, like the La Gruta Tres Leches, if you've
Mm-hmm.
ever been in our shop, which has all 3 milks, and the Iberico we just got in has all 3 milks, and it just gives a little more. It's like they're made in the Manchego style, which maybe you can tell us more about.
Which I will,
Okay,
yes, yes,
excellent.
yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
try it with the tapenade? It's good with the
Oh
tapenade.
no, with the tapenade? Okay, I was just like really into this quince, but
So it can be made with raw or pasteurized milk, and if it is made with raw milk, it will be labeled artisano. Is that how you say it? Artisano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with an E, right?
yes,
A-R-T-E.
yes.
Artisanal.
And maybe, okay, so what's really cool is that there is no other ingredients. It is just milk, salt, and animal rennet. No bacteria or cultures or anything else. That's all it is.
Really?
Yeah. And then, will you grab the Manchego wheel? Because I think this is
Sure.
really cool. So when you see a whole wheel of Manchego, there's like some really cool things to look for. So on the very bottom, you're gonna see this little this casein tab. I don't know if they can see it. That little circle.
Yeah, right
and it
here.
has handwriting. So it says Manchego, and it's gonna say information about the milk. On the label. So the PDO protected cheeses, they have to say 100% Manchego. Does it say it on there? Or sheep's milk, or
Yes.
all right. It's gonna have a picture of Don Quixote, which
Yes.
I think is really
oh my
cool.
god, yeah.
And
Here.
then
There you go.
what else?
Our arms are gonna fall off.
There looks like
and
there's a
a
little like serial number.
Yeah. And then what's cool is so on the side, that zigzag pattern. So back in the day when they would make the cheese, they would use these like woven baskets. So they would put the curds in the basket and they would press, and then that basket would leave like this imprint on there. So nowadays, mass production of the cheeses, they don't use that. They use plastic molds, but they, as a nod to tradition, it's like in the mold. And on the top, is it on the bottom too? Oh, more. Take this off.
Oh boy.
I know. I saw that. You saw that too, right?
Oh, I'm gonna taste this
Wait,
with
I
the
wanted to
wine.
see something. No, go ahead. Take it off, but just don't destroy it.
So you'll see that it's broken down into 4 kind of little sections, and this is supposed to mimic like is it called like the wheat, the top part?
Yeah.
Like that it's pressed onto the cheese, the top and the bottom. And so I've talked about this before. I love all the little details when it comes to cheese, and I think that's really cool.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
So this is a random thing we haven't talked about that I was going to mention, but we had a customer a long time ago asking if our Manchego had egg in it because they have a severe egg allergy. And I remember reading on this label that it has lysozyme, which is from egg white, in the cheese.
Is that why my
Oh my god.
Christina can't have egg.
Yeah.
So I have an egg sensitivity, but
like pretty sensitive. And so I wonder if that's why. Yeah, and so,
So-
it says that on the rind color too is caramel, annatto, and B-carotene.
interesting. So
So you do it? I feel like you have a sensitivity to sheep's milk sometimes.
yeah, so like every time I
I
cut
wonder if
the
it's
sheep's
specific to
cheese,
sheep's. Yeah.
that's what it seemed like. I was telling every week I have a new reason why my hands start to like they itch like when I cut certain cheeses.
Really get into it.
Yeah. And so maybe that's why.
Yeah, because there's some egg. We'll have to look into the other cheeses too. And
Do you have problems with certain wines also? Because they
Yeah,
find
all
them
of
with
them.
egg whites. Okay. They find some cheeses some wines with
interesting. I didn't know
albumin.
that.
Yeah, instead of sitting to let the sediment come to the bottom, yeah, they put it to speed it up.
Have you drinking?
Yeah, I don't think it won't say on the label.
Ugh.
So maybe you need to look for unfined wines.
or vegan wines.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
serious.
should we talk about that? Vegan wines? People don't know that.
No, we
Okay.
don't want to ruin them.
Okay, look it up. Okay. So there's 4 classifications of Manchego. You have Fresco, which is aged up to 2 weeks, but technically it's not a real Manchego because it doesn't meet that aging requirement. The second one is semi-curado, which is aged 3 weeks up to 3 months. Then you have curado, which is aged 3 to 6 months, and then you have viejo, which is aged 6 months and on up. So, pop quiz. What's the Manchego we're trying? And if anyone answers, I'll give you something for free.
Wow, what is it?
I don't know.
Can I answer?
No.
Wait,
She'll give you some
me the
sheep's
times
milk
again.
yogurt.
So Fresco, aged 2 weeks. Semi-curado is aged 3 weeks to 3 months. Curado, aged 3 to 6 months. And viejo up to 2 years. So it's 6 months.
Viejo.
Sarah, she was good.
I thought she already shared the age of this one.
I
You
did.
did.
I want to make sure people are paying attention at home,
Uh-oh.
specifically Ryan.
This
Maybe
is like
one-
Jeopardy. What is viejo?
Did anyone guess?
We've been having a chat issue, but now chat is back. So
Okay.
We'll ask
we'll
again.
keep watching.
Well, okay.
Well, now let's see who gets in first, knowing that I already spilled the beans with the answer.
So when you're out and about at the grocery store, you might see another cheese called queso iberico, which looks just like this one, but it has a darker rind. But the milk is totally different, so it doesn't classify as a Manchego, but it is a Manchego style. So that one is cow, sheep, and goat's milk, all 3. And I think you'll find cheese like in Mexico and other places, it'll say Manchego, but it won't have all those other, like the Don Quixote label or like the case and tab on the bottom or any of that because it's not a real one. So always look for it.
I read that La Mancha means land without water,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was interesting. Because sheep do thrive in sparse conditions, right?
That's true,
one of the
yeah.
pluses. Yeah, so there you go.
And then what else? Oh, during the aging, okay, so it ages, and then when it's done, so it has a natural rind, so mold will grow on it, and then when it's ready, they will wash it, and then they will coat it in paraffin, and they will rub it with olive oil.
I was about to be like, isn't this a wax fry?
Yeah.
But yeah, we got there, okay.
It's a journey.
Yeah, no, this is great. Everyone's learning.
Yeah, and I learned that. So why cheese is covered with olive oil? Because this isn't the only one. It's to kind of like stop mold growth and to also allow it to retain its moisture. And so I thought that was interesting.
Nice, yeah.
That makes sense.
Very cool.
And then if you haven't tried the paste, try it now because we won't talk about it. So it's also known as dulce de membrillo. It's the Spanish word for quince. Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Quince is this pear apple shaped fruit that's very, in its raw form, it's not very good. It's too tough. It's not very sweet. It's almost sour. It's when you cook it and you cook it down that you're going to get something delicious. So
It is delicious.
yeah, it's made with water, the fruit, some sugar, and just you make it like you make a jam. But when it gets cold, when it cools down, it becomes this kind of gel-like. So it says paste, but
I like
it's
the
more
natural pectins are coming out.
Yes.
Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I have to contribute a little bit.
We have a question on the honey. What kind is it?
It is a chestnut honey, and we're going to learn more about it.
It tastes
shortly.
insane. I just
Yeah.
had put it on the Manchego and I was
Yeah.
like, what's happening?
And when I was reading about it, there's lots of cool, fun stuff about
Oh,
it.
okay,
too.
cool.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm
so
excited.
Save
Okay.
some for later.
Okay, sorry.
I was gonna say with Manchego, I feel like, not to be like you should only shop with us, but I feel like it's one of those cheeses that absorbs the taste of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a lot of gift baskets or like at Costco, big stores, like big wedges of Manchego that are vacuum sealed. And I feel like when you open it, it's just like a greasy, plasticky mess. Like it looks like the cheese is still plastic. Like when you open this and you see our piece, and this is your piece, like it looks very dry. I feel like it should look dry. It shouldn't look shiny.
Especially if it's aged.
Yeah, when you see like one that comes pre-packaged, I feel like it's always going to taste the best when it's like a fresh cut piece.
Yeah, and a lot of places sell brands that aren't as, like, I hate to say reputable, but just aren't as, like, recognized as being good brands. So we sell the El Trigal. 1605 is also excellent. So if you're looking at Trader Joe's or something, you know, I mean, you shouldn't. You should probably come here because that's in plastic too. But anyway, if you're anywhere, look for those different brands. It's really helpful since there'll be a ton of different brands selling Manchego. So El Trigal and 1605.
Yep.
Great.
I haven't tried 1605. I'm gonna look for it.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. So the paste not only with cheese, but it's good like just like on toast or in desserts. Just it's like a jelly jam thing. Yeah. So. And it's really popular more in Europe and South and Central America. And it's high in vitamin C, high in fiber, low in fat and sodium, and it has like copper, magnesium, and something else.
Are you
Potassium.
supposed to eat copper?
I
I do
know.
need magnesium. Magnesium
There
is
you
good
go.
for calming and for sleep.
Yes.
You need that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
do you guys like? Okay, so Manchego.
I like it, even though Rachel thinks it's boring.
I also like it. I'm so sorry.
Does everyone else like it at home? That's what I want to know for these two.
She doesn't care about it.
Oh, the fava beans. I'm so
Fava
hungry.
So while we're waiting to hear
We're gonna
back,
move on?
Yes, we're gonna move on to the wonderful world of pecorinos. So the next three cheeses.
What
we're
does
trying-
pecorino mean? Oh, you're going to tell us. I'm so
I
sorry.
had a speech. I practiced it in the mirror. Okay. So the next three are going to be pecorino cheeses. What is pecorino, you ask?
I did. You're welcome.
I even wrote it. What is pecorino? Okay.
Did you write what is pecorino? You ask. Oh, no,
I was going. No, but
just write what is pecorino.
when I practiced this at home, I said it to Ryan, and he was just like, "Are you really going to say that?" I'm like, "Yeah, probably, because it's funny." So the name pecorino is taken from the Italian word pecora, which means sheep. It covers all Italian cheeses made out of sheep's milk. There are three main types. There's fresco, which means fresh, and then I can't pronounce the other two, so we're going to say semi-aged and aged.
Gina can, right?
Yes.
Stagionato.
Yes.
And
semi-stagionato.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the longer that the cheese ages, the more firm and crumbly and salty that they become. The younger cheeses are going to be more softer, more creamy in texture, and that's when you would use that more like on a sandwich or as a table cheese. The other, when it's more aged, you would use that more like to grate. There are 6 varieties of pecorino cheeses. 4 of them are protected, and we're going to try 3 of them today. So we're going to move on to the upper right-hand corner, which is Fiore Sardo. And unfortunately, it's so good, we sold out, so I don't have a bigger wheel to show you, but we have another version of it. This one is a little different, we'll go into why, but it looks very similar to this. Just like, similar in size to this wheel. This one has a black rind, but the one on your plate, if you look at it on the edge, I purposely left the rind on all these cheeses because I wanted you to see and compare. So this one's like a brown with some like white.
Smell this one, guys.
Yeah.
It was touching the olives and the apricots, and it smokiness
Really?
got all on. Yeah.
Ooh.
I know you hate smokiness.
It's okay.
So if you haven't figured it out, it's a smoked cheese.
Well,
And they're all made similar, like all the pecorinos are usually made similar, but this one's the only one that's smoked of the pecorinos. So it is aged 8 months. It comes from the island of Sardinia, and fiore means flower, so it means flower of Sardinia. And it comes from, they used to coagulate the milk before, they used a flower called cardoon thistle, and that, instead of using animal rennet, so that's what would make the cheese, the curds, form.
and they still use that for some cheeses, right?
really?
There's some
Some
Portuguese
Portuguese,
cheeses.
yeah.
Oh, very
it
cool.
imparts this like very interesting sort of bitter vegetal taste. So, yeah, it's interesting to seek those out and try them.
And they're mostly soft, right? The ones I've tried. At
Like
least.
Serra del Estrella
And
and
the Obelha.
Mhm.
Big long word after that.
Some Portuguese word.
Some long Portuguese word.
So yeah. So it's made from fresh, unpasteurized sheep's milk. It comes from one single flock. So there's this particular cheese is made in these small huts called pinete.
We couldn't help out with this
Yeah.
pronunciation.
So
we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, so it's a small hut where the shepherds go. They have this vat. They put the milk in there. They add lamb rennet to it, which is different from the other classes because we always talk about calf rennet and not lamb rennet. So I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't know that was an option.
Lamb is sheep, right?
Yep. And then
Just checking in. Calf is cow. It's confusing. And kid is goat. I have to remind myself.
yes. So when the rennet's added and it starts to curdle, they use a knife called Shanova.
Oh.
Shanova, yeah. So it's a special knife called Shanova, and then once it's cut, they will start to curdle more, and then they use another knife called Sega Kasu. That's a fun word to say.
Yeah.
Yes, that was easy, very short. It's very good. Okay.
That wasn't short.
Well, like the words themselves were
Yeah.
short, yeah. And so then,
Second.
so then they transfer them into these molds, and then this was new too, that they take these molds and they dip them into hot water, and that is to get the rind to harden. And then they'll take it out of the water, and then they wash it, take it out of the mold, they wash the cheese in brine, and then they hang them on these special mats made out of rush plants. And it's like a mat that's weaved, and they hang it above a fire in the hut that smokes. And it sits there for a while, and then they do a second stage of aging where they put it down in the underground cellar. So there's like all these little steps.
I think the Spanish cheese Idiazabal is made very similarly in small huts. Yeah, and
Very
it's
cool.
smoked as well.
Can you imagine just like cheese hanging in the ceiling?
Yeah, you know,
Getting
like you
smoked,
cure
like-
salami.
I like
Why not?
it.
I know, but
Like our Parmesan lamb out on the patio. You have to come to the patio and check it out if you haven't seen it.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
So somebody loves the Fiore Sardo with blueberry. If you haven't tried that,
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll have to try
wine and
that.
dine.
I'm eating all the blueberries.
And I also learned that lamb rennet has more of like a animal tasting and more rustic flavor that's in the cheese than like calf rennet. And then they smoke the cheese using bark from cork trees. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the cork tree, but that's what they use.
So it doesn't have to be smoked, right? Okay.
Yeah, so there's different versions. This one over here that we showed earlier was not smoked, and I forget there was something else.
Can you use lamb rennet in cow's milk cheeses? Because obviously they use calf rennet in other milk cheeses.
I feel like you can because I also read that you can use kid rennet for Fiore Sardo.
Yeah,
So
I read. Yeah,
So like, why don't they use lamb rennet in all?
because
cheese
there's
milk
so many
cheese?
more cows.
Oh.
which makes sense why they would do blends of milks for certain cheeses too. Because
Oh, that's a guess. I don't
Yeah.
know the answer, but I was just
yeah,
guessing because there's
didn't
so
know
many
if
more
you
cheese.
found it
I mean,
on any of
cows.
your
or
research.
maybe they don't want it to taste so animalistic. Was that a word? Animalistic, like
Animally.
animally. So
Did you say they cut the curds really small?
Mhm.
So I always think it's interesting, like cheddar, if you like look at the paste, right, you can kind of almost see like it pasted together. I mean, some of it is, you know, also like the butter fat and stuff, which we'll talk about. But you can see, whereas, like, for example, the Fiore Sardo over here is like much smoother, which my guess would be that they cut the curds a little bigger. Do you know what I mean? Like in cheddar, you can see and it kind of crumbles. And
Yeah,
so I feel like
when
you
you-
can see in different cheeses a little bit, like in Manchego. That's why it's not super smooth.
to the light.
Get your glasses.
Just a thought.
No, that
I
makes
like it.
sense. Yeah. So it was good with the blueberry. I liked it too. And sheep cheeses go really good with olives. And so we have two options on the plate. We got the black olive tapenade, and which was I thought was cool. So the name doesn't come from, it doesn't mean olive spread or anything. It comes from the word tapanas, from the Provençal word of capers. So that's where it gets named. So it has olives, anchovy,
Kind of like garlic,
garlic,
olive oil.
herbs. Yeah.
I like that one.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Made with Niçoise olives.
Ah, Niçoise.
Niçoise olives.
And very simple, the difference between black olives and green olives is black are ripe olives and green are not. They're unripe olives.
Really?
Some people might not know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Some people.
Yeah, I just assumed,
It's
like red
it's
apples,
like wine
green
grapes.
apples.
It's like wine grapes. All start out white and then they turn red.
Oh.
If they're red grapes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I just
We're all
learned that.
learning today.
Like a lemon is green, and
Yeah.
but it's not a lime while it's green, and now I'm confused.
But Mexican limes are.
Okay, what?
Well, they're still yellow.
They're yellow?
Yeah. They're
Well,
yellow.
that's another class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Citrus class coming up.
But this is very interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
know that about olives. So a Castelvetrano olive would turn black.
If left on the vine?
Yeah.
The vine? The tree? The tree.
Tree.
Yeah.
Tree.
Yeah. Which brings
Do
us
they
to
do anything with it once it turns black? I mean, why is that a green olive versus a? Why do they like it green rather than black?
because it's delicious when it's green.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I'm
yeah,
asking
yeah.
questions you don't know
So
the
yeah,
answer to.
no. We talked about this in the very beginning. Do not ask me questions that don't know the answer to. So I will tell you they're from Sicily.
Down the hole.
All right. Sicily.
And they are famous for that bright green color. And they do have pits in them, so be aware.
Very attractive to eat on camera.
Which I'm not going to do.
I got
that.
into it.
Remember I texted you one night and I was like, I'm eating olives at a restaurant. And there's no lady like, wait. So
What do I
like,
do with my pits?
And she's like, eat it. Eat it. I'm like, really? And she's like, no.
I was just kidding.
So, and I also learned that they have pediostatness, like they're protected.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can't call any old green olive
A
Castelvetrano. No.
Protected designation of origin.
Yes, yes, yes. And they are harvested between September and October.
Ooh.
And the production area is very small, and they grow on trees that they won't produce any fruit or any olives for 5 years. And I
Once you
think-
plant them?
Once you plant them, which I
I
think,
think
is
I heard that.
that's a long time.
Yeah, that's a commitment.
And what else makes them unique is that they're not fermented. So they take a bath. So they get picked, they take a bath in fresh water and lye. And then they do that several times for 2 weeks. And then they get a final wash. And that helps remove like the bitterness of the olive. And then they store them in a refrigerator. And then they show up at your local cheese shop.
Oh, so
Oh,
they
no.
don't put them in brine or anything.
No.
But they do get weird and wrinkly if you keep them out of the water that they come
Yeah.
in. You can add regular water, but it just needs to
Is
be
that from
something.
personal experience?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Someone used to pour the liquid out before filling up the olive container.
Who was that?
You.
No, I poured half of it. Please don't say that because I've had a lot of experience with these olives and my past bosses will be like, what?
That's what happened.
This whole time. But the majority of the olives are used for olive oil production.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah, but I thought that was I didn't know.
Because they don't taste as like meaty and salty and all of that.
And buttery.
Yeah.
Buttery, nice and buttery. And I just thought it was so cool that I didn't know other things could be protected, like to be labeled as such.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
I wonder what else is out there. So. All right.
Find out next
Yeah.
time.
Let's talk about. I'm starting to
What's
see
next?
it.
Where are we?
We're gonna move down to the bottom left corner, the Pecorino Toscano.
Ours
What?
is sweat.
I know, we're gonna talk about sweat now,
Yeah.
guys. So if you've noticed
Mine
on
is
your
too.
plate, particularly probably the Toscano that we're about to eat, it looks wet almost. This is called butterfat tears, is what I read. So because they're all that fat, sheep cheeses are oily. They are about 45% fat. So as it is left out at room temperature, it will start to sweat. That's what's happening. You got any more details on that?
I just want to say this is not the same as what I was talking about earlier when your cheese is wrapped in plastic and you take the plastic off and it's shiny. That's from the plastic. This looked dry when we opened it, and this is now the oils seeping out.
And so it's totally fine to eat, but I have from experience, like say you get Manchego, you cut it at home, and then it starts to sweat like this, and you put it back in the fridge, and you do multiple times. It tends to start getting dry and waxy. It's fine, but I prefer to eat my Manchego like in small portions right away. When I do eat it, because I don't eat it all the time. But, yeah.
Can I have some more crackers, you guys? You don't seem to be eating them.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
So Pecorino Toscano, and we can go and look at the rind again. So this one, I have two. So I have a whole wheel and then a cut version because I wanted to see. Because on the outside it's like this gray brown. And you know what? The piece that we have doesn't smell very bad.
Doesn't smell that bad.
When we first get it in, it has a very strong odor, and for like months I kept saying, it smells fishy. Does it smell fishy to you? And I kept trying to research and find out why. And then last night we figured out why.
It was really fun. We were all like trying to look it up, and then I was looking up at past notes that I had taken from my Center for Dairy Research in Wisconsin classes. And I was like, oh yeah, they taught me why, and it's right here.
This whole time.
Yeah, this whole time.
We've been working
So
together like a year and a half.
They may or may not be a little upset with me, but here we are. So it's from the fatty acid oxidation, because each type of milk has different types of fatty acids, and that kind of lends to the flavor. So the one that sheep's milk has a lot of is phenolic acid, and that is what makes it smell fishy. And it's the oxidizing of those, turning them into free fatty acids, that gives you like the aroma and the different tastes in the different types of milk.
This whole time.
Good stuff.
This
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah, but it really does smell like fish sauce, like
Yeah,
that umami kind of
Yeah.
like less like kind of salty, like kind of briny. I don't know. It's
Yeah, not like
it's pretty crazy.
not like rotting fish, but like
No.
No, yeah.
fish, yeah.
But we'll like open the small fridge and we'll be like, what is in here? And it was the pecorino plates.
Yes, yes. But on the plate, it doesn't.
Well, that's what they say.
It
It's like
dissipated.
with
Yeah.
smelly cheeses, you let it air out. We talked about this with the like the floss and the
That's
stinky
right.
cheese class and the
That's
soft
right.
cheese classes. Those smells will go away because this just
smells
smells
good.
like cheese.
Yeah, yeah. So Pecorino Toscano, if you can't figure out by the name, it is from Tuscany, and it is the third most produced cheese behind Pecorino Sardo and Pecorino Romano. It also has protection status, and the entire production has to be done in Tuscany. So the breeding of the sheep, the milking, the distribution, all of it has to be done in Tuscany. And it's used with milk from September to June. So yeah, it has to be between those months. And they use 4 different breeds of sheep. Sarda, is that the breed of sheep?
I don't know, for Pecorino Toscano.
Yeah, Sardinia, yeah, there's 4 different types, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was trying not to look at my notes on those. And it's milder and grassier than like Pecorino Romano. There's 2 versions. There's the soft fresco, and then there's the aged version. And they're just
What is it?
Stagionato
stagionato.
and semi-stagionato.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
We can do it, guys.
Yeah, by the end of we're getting there.
yes, yes. And what goes good with Pecorino Toscano? The chestnut honey.
Oh, awesome.
Yes.
Okay. I want to know everything about this chestnut honey. Have you guys tasted this yet? It's bonkers.
I did. Took a,
It is bonkers.
Like, I don't have another word for it. I don't.
I took a big old spoonful,
Oh, no.
a bite of it when I was like making the plates, and you know you have your leftovers still, and you're like,
Sure,
oh,
yeah.
don't mind if I do. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
that's not what I thought it was going to taste like. So, chestnut honey,
Okay, what is it?
it's going to be okay.
Smells like cough syrupy.
It's good for you.
Not cough syrup in a bad way, but just like it has more than just honey scent.
Yes. So it is a monofloral honey, which
Great.
school has taught me mono means single, right? One. So it means a single flower honey.
School, guys, school.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
We haven't done school.
It will have that dark color and a bitter aftertaste. It is produced by honeybees extracting and converting nectar from chestnut trees, and they turn it into honey. Words to describe this are smoky, leathery, spicy, and mysterious.
Mysterious.
Yes. And
Yeah.
the taste of it will be different region to region. So this is in Italy. Forgive me, I don't know what part of Italy, but other chestnut trees, because it's also available like in America and Australia and like all these other places.
That's not what a chestnut tastes like, though. Right?
No, that's not when I never had it before, and when I tried it, I was like, that bitter aftertaste. You
I
know?
mean,
Like-
this is like a whole broader honey discussion. Sorry. Because
No,
we
it is.
get
Honey
like
class.
the avocado blossom honey and like a
Yes,
lavender
our
blossom
lavender honey
Yeah.
and our what else the other one? Mountain honey, acacia honey,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Oh, truffle
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
One
That's
viewer-
truffle honey.
Those bees are not feasting on truffle.
I know, but I like truffle honey.
Those have truffle chunks on
We
it.
can tell people that though. It'd be cool.
Truffle.
These bees are like the truffle hunting
The
dogs.
bougie,
The
bougie bees.
Bougie bees. They
Bougie
dig
bees.
down into the dirt.
Two of the ladies think it tastes floral, like rose water, like rose seed.
Yes.
Oh.
See, that's what I'm
Roses.
getting with the cough syrup. It's like when you use too much rose water, it's like perfumey. So maybe perfumey is the right word
I'm
rather
getting
than
it. Yeah.
Mysterious.
Yes.
I think
mysterious.
perfumey is,
Yeah. That floral.
Yeah, you know.
People
it's
love it
interesting.
though. A lot of people come
Well,
in
you're supposed
They
asking
do, they
for
ask
this.
for it.
You're supposed to eat it with the Toscano.
I did.
Nothing changed?
No.
Well, it's also slow to crystallize because it's high in, what is it called? Fructose?
Fructose?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. And it's high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties.
Oh,
More so than other honeys.
we could probably all use that right now.
Allergy season.
Tell me about it.
I like it with the
You do?
Toscano.
Yeah, it is good. I think it does need food. It's like one of those pairings that kind of like the quince. I mean, the quince on its own is like interesting, but I feel like with the cheese it goes really well. Great pairings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Orange rainy flowers.
Fava beans.
Oh, fabas.
So we'll transition over to Pecorino Romano, which is in the right-hand corner. So we're skipping that middle cheese, that smaller white triangle.
Skip it. Don't even look at it.
Don't even look at
Don't
it.
smell it. Don't touch it.
Don't touch
It's
it.
for the end.
Yes. Okay. So I think Pecorino Romano is probably the most well-known of the Pecorino cheeses and the most assertive in terms of flavor. It dates back to over 2,000 years ago, and it stores really well long-term. And back in the day, the Roman army was given a ration of Pecorino Romano, 27 grams to be precise, and that's every day they got it, and they were able to live off of that. It was, now, I thought this was interesting. So, you know how like Pecorino Romano, you think it's made in Rome? It used to be, but not anymore. So, back in 1884, the Roman city banned cheeses from being salted in their cheese shops. And I was trying to figure out,
Like salted?
yeah. And so I think it had to do with politics. I think there was a politician who made his money by salting cheese, and the Roman council wanted to push him out.
Can you imagine if those were our problems today?
I wish.
We're like, oh no, the salt lobby. Get them.
Underground salt.
Yes.
Salt mine.
So
Wow, that's crazy.
yeah, and so we're gonna ban it, and that way he doesn't have any money, so he can't be on the council anymore, kind of thing. So they undercut him, but it just pushed the production to be outside of Rome, and that was going well for a long time. Except they couldn't make as much cheese to keep up with demand, so they moved over to Sardinia. So Pecorino Romano is made on the island of Sardinia.
Nice.
Yeah. And I thought that was crazy.
A lot of people use this in place of Parmesan when they're looking for something a little bit different.
More robust.
Yes. It's so dry.
But nobody.
I haven't tasted it in
It's
a
not
long time.
really like a cheese I would necessarily snack on. I mean, I'm not upset about it.
Like,
but-
I feel like the texture in your teeth is like a little bit.
yeah, well, they
Pretty,
cook,
yeah.
they cook and press it like they do with Alpine cheeses, but it's aged, so
It's a
it
cooked
gets
curd cheese.
okay. It's a cooked curd cheese. There you go. A CC. I don't know. So yeah, so I think that's why it's like so dry and it's smoother. Like you can't see the curds as much as in the Manchego and
When you
stuff.
start to break it, you can a little bit. Like it
That's
breaks
true.
the
It like
natural
crumbles. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
line.
point.
My hands are starting to itch.
Were you gonna wear gloves?
Shut up.
Yeah, like fancy like driving gloves from like the 30s.
These are my cheesemonger gloves. Oh my god, that's
Next
funny.
time.
Now I really want to know if it has egg in it.
It also has lamb rennet,
Okay.
and we have a little piece of the 50-pound wheel it came from.
I'm not gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
Right this way.
So that's like half of a quarter. So
That's
it's
an
much
eighth.
taller. 8. Okay.
So, yeah.
It's much taller, so it's double that, and an eighth of it.
And then, well, no. So
I don't
this
know.
is this piece is the eighth.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
once you get double height,
Okay.
that's a quarter of the whole wheel. So imagine like this tall, probably like this wide.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I'm like, they can't see this as a visual, really.
I mean,
So I was going
okay, picture Christina's head, then times. And you can see that the one we have is Locatelli brand, and I feel like at least a lot of my family members, we are Italian, don't refer to it as Pecorino Romano. We're just like Locatelli. Get some
Oh.
Locatelli at the store, you know? And
There-
like no one ever knew what it was, really. It was just, that's what it was.
Oh.
There's another brand I want to try,
Fulvi.
Yeah, and I heard that that's really good, and it's made like it's one of the last standing like Roman families produce it. So
Yeah, in the traditional way,
yeah,
right?
cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, so look
Salted
out for
or
it.
unsalted?
So I'm gonna add it to the
Salted or
burger list.
unsalted?
All right. We'll see about that. With royal I cheese too.
And it's definitely sharper and saltier than Parmesan. Like if you're thinking like you might want to try this in a pasta, I would totally recommend it. Just know that that's, you know, if you really, you can use less of it, I feel like, to get a good flavor.
Yeah. Or people sprinkle it like on pizza, just a little bit.
Yes.
To just add a little bit of funkiness to
It's
it.
like always the bridesmaid, never the bride, because everyone always does Parmesan or Reggiano. It really is. It's like I'm good too.
Hey. Would you ever use this in cacio e pepe, Sarah, chef?
Ooh.
Oh.
Chef.
I mean, I'm all for using like the wrong cheese for dishes. Like as long as it works. Like people are always asking me like,
I bet it'd be amazing.
What are you supposed to put in fondue? I'm like, whatever you want. Literally whatever you want. Whatever will melt will go in there.
I was about to say whatever would melt.
Whatever
I
would
would not
melt.
put Pecorino Romano in a fondue.
No, okay. Anyway.
Sarah said
Whatever you want. Lord Hollander. No, anyways. Yes, you could totally
Cheese on
use
the
this
jokes.
for that because we had talked about, was it you were having that conversation of like not using a specific cheese because it was going to get too oily?
Yeah,
What cheese was that?
sheep cheeses.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
A customer was asking us about using a certain cheese in a pasta dish and asking if it would get too oily. Oh, because when you heat it up, it gets oily. But Parmesan gets really oily. Like it's all the same. I feel like.
Unless you grate it.
Oh yeah, you would grate it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like tossed in a pasta dish, like grated.
Yeah.
Like it. These are not any more oily than Parmesan is, so you could definitely use it in its place.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
For
was
sure.
All right.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. What else? Oh, protection status, 1996. The 90s were a time, I feel like, for the Pecorinos. Like, they were all past the vibe check. Like, in the 90s. They're like, all
Yeah,
right.
isn't Fiore Sardo was 96 too?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder what happened in the 90s in
Lots
Italy.
going on. Yeah.
Another class, another time.
Oh wait, are we gonna talk about like digestion and cows?
Yes, let's
We're
talk
gonna
about
get there?
lactose. No,
Okay,
that's,
it's
I was
time
saving
now.
it for you. It's time.
It's time
for the special segment.
Ding ding ding! Fun fact, science.
You guys are gonna like sound so cool at parties when you talk about this. It's gonna be great.
Or you're gonna sound real nerdy like we do.
All right, you started off.
Hey,
Hey,
tell us about life. Like, I'll pretend I'm a customer coming in and be like, "Oh, I'm lactose intolerant. I can't have cow's milk cheeses, but I can have sheep and goats."
Well, that happened today.
Oh,
Yeah. But the things we talk about are, first of all, you might have a cow's milk allergy, which we've talked about before. So you may just be allergic to cow's milk, and sheep and goat might be fine. You might be lactose intolerant, and then aged cheeses are generally fine, like over a year, I would say. But sheep and goat have smaller fat globules. I think we talked about this in the goat class, and they're easier to digest. So though sheep's milk has higher fat, the pieces of fat are smaller. And so it's easier to digest, and some people can just, it's not a cow's milk allergy, it's just like just doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And the sheep and goat are fine.
so
Right.
what you're saying?
What am I saying?
Sheep and goat's milk still have lactose in it.
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm
Yes.
in here saying I'm
Oh, we're
lactose
having a
intolerant,
lactose conversation, yes. Okay.
yes. Okay. So if you feel that you are lactose intolerant, what you should do is aged cheeses.
Yeah.
The lactose does differ among species, but it's such a small percentage that it shouldn't have any effect. Like if you have the lactase to digest even a little bit of lactose, then you should be like across all species,
Okay.
right? So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. If you're lactose intolerant, it's not that sheep and goat are going to be helpful to you, but it might be because you have something else, and that's fine. Whatever works. You don't even have to name it. Doesn't matter. Just sheep and goat. Here we go.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Was that the lactose conversation?
That
Did
was
we do
one.
it?
Yeah, we did it. So make sure you call out people and be like, no, you're not-
Make sure you call out people. We don't do that here.
No. We educate people.
Yes. Peanut gallery over here. How's everyone feeling?
Yeah.
Any favorites so far?
People just didn't realize how different pecorinos could be.
Yeah.
It was a
Very
great
cool.
trio of pecorinos.
Very cool. The Romano, minimum age 5 months, but it's best 8 to 12 months. And I would grade this. I wouldn't use this as a table cheese. Yeah.
And it's funny, it seems so much drier to me than the Manchego, which is 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It all has to do with the cheese making techniques.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You take the same ingredients and like here you are. You just have all these
With so
different
many
cheeses.
different types of cheese, yeah.
Pecorino cheeses are also, let me know if I'm saying this right, they belong to the Grana family of cheeses because of their texture. Is Grana like a wider neck?
I
'Cause
don't
I know we have
know.
the other one.
The other one.
Not
Which
the other one.
one?
We have a cheese called Grana.
Grana
Well, there's
Padano?
Grana Padano.
But that's
Right.
cow's
We don't-
milk.
Yeah,
Right.
we don't really sell that one.
Right.
It's the inferior Parmesan, no offense.
Inferior.
It is.
It
I mean,
is.
just get Parmesan. It's going to taste better.
Or you could get Grana Padano, but just no, that's
You're being judged.
yeah.
You're being
Well,
Judged.
it's like she.
I would never
it's like,
judge you.
No,
I would never.
I would happily eat Grana Padano. I'm just saying. Actually, my wife teases me because I'm like, she bought Parmesan the other day and it was from the U.S. Like it wasn't Parmigiano Reggiano, and I was like, I do not eat domestic Parmesan. I always say Parmesan, like Parmesan. She's just like, you know what? It all tastes good. I'm like, you're right. I'm just being uppity, but you know. So
That's great.
yeah, Parmesan. If you ever hear me yelling Parmesan, run away, run away.
Oh man. No, but I was reading that. Yeah, like the Grana is a
We believe you.
family. Yeah. So
yeah.
it's hard, flaky texture, and it's sharp.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then you might see. Talking about domestic cheeses, you might see a cheese labeled Romano cheese has nothing to do with Pecorino Romano. It's like cow's milk, first of all.
Are you talking about Romano?
Yeah, we're talking about-
Roomano?
When I copied and pasted Romano cheese, that's how it was spelled.
Well,
so
we used to have a Gouda called Roomano. Roomano. It was an aged Gouda, almost a little bit more aged than Prima Donna.
Okay.
But had the crunchies like OG Crystal.
Okay, so it would have that same kind of hard, flaky
Yeah, it
texture.
gives you a very similar texture.
Oh, so
like
that's what it would be, okay.
Like Support El Piatto.
Okay,
That
cool.
kind of texture.
Okay, so. All right, cool.
That's why we do have to ask people that a lot. And they're like, I got this Romano cheese here, like last year. And I was like, well, we've never had Pecorino Romano. So is it Romano, the Gouda? And they're like, yes. And so it's like this whole thing.
Correct your flashcards, kids.
Yeah.
Are we ready for the last cheese? I'm excited about it.
One more thing.
Okay, sorry.
So, in honor of the day before my birthday, May 1st. Well, my
I
birthday's
was
May
like,
2nd.
your birthday's tomorrow?
I was just gonna say, like, wait a second.
All right.
So the Romans honor May Day by eating Pecorino Romano and fresh fava beans, but I was not going to put fresh fava beans on their plate. So we have dried fava beans to add a little bit of crunch to the situation.
All right.
In honor of your birthday.
And it's the day before my birthday. They're getting ready.
They're getting ready for the month of Christina.
It is the month of Christina. It really is. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And then we can move on to the last one.
I'm sorry, guys. I just saw on her notes it says the 90s were a time. I'm so sorry. I couldn't help it. It's highlighted.
You never reveal a magician's
I'm so
secrets.
sorry. Let's back up.
We need a teleprompter, Gina.
Apparently, technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Cut to commercial.
Hydrate.
All right. So, last cheese is in the very middle. There are 4 white triangles. Oh my gosh. And I made these plates myself, and I made sure that every top piece, because I'm extra, had a piece of truffle in it. Because I care, and I want people to see. So, this is Bosquetto al Tartufo. Bosquetto means shrub, so I guess it's like shrub of the truffle.
Or, because it's like a little wheel. It looks
That's
like a
true.
shrub.
It's like a small.
You know, a little petite.
Why does it come in the box, do you know?
No.
I don't know either.
Gina, do you know why it comes in the box?
Oh, I don't.
I couldn't find out why. Sorry, I ate this piece.
Quick question, I don't know the answer to. Sorry if you don't. Bosquetto al Tartufo. Do they make regular Bosquetto?
Yes.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Plain?
Plain. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
It explains the other pictures I was looking at.
Okay.
I'm like, I don't see truffle in there, but
No, great. Great.
Yeah. Are they both mild and tender?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking you.
So this one isn't a pecorino because it is sheep and cow's milk. And do you know, I shouldn't be eating this if I'm allergic to.
Well, I've heard that it's mostly sheep. They use cow if they have to. If they
So
don't
if there's
have
a
enough.
shortage because they're scared and they're not producing.
Yeah, it's generally mostly sheep. But then somebody came in and was like, "Why does it say just sheep? I've heard there has cow in there too," and it like totally flipped my brain, and I had to do some research on it. Yeah. So they use cow's milk if they have to.
Got it.
It's so tangy.
Right. Now, do they use white truffle or black truffle? Rachel.
White truffle.
Yay! Yes. So I know it kind of like looks like, I thought it was black truffle, but it's white truffle.
They are all kind of
like
black.
a dark. Yeah.
Mhm. It's not white.
Right. Exactly. And I love that taste. That truffle flavor is so good.
White truffle is better flavor,
Yes.
personally.
Yeah.
Stronger, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, there wasn't a lot of information on the cheese making process and all of that, so I thought we can talk about the difference between black truffles and white truffles.
Yep.
Works for me.
All right, so white truffles are going to be more smooth and more like that slightly yellowish, grayish to the truffle itself, and black truffles are going to be more rough and darker in color. Black truffles are going to be more subtle in flavor. White are much more stronger. So you should use like a black truffle in like a sauce would do really well, whereas a white truffle grating it on pasta.
Yeah,
Is
like
that
to finish. Use truffles when you're cooking to finish dishes,
Okay.
not a lot. Or like, you make your mashed potatoes and fold in the truffles. You're not like simmering truffles in a sauce.
Okay, so a finishing. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to know. If you cook it, does it like destroy the quality?
It's just like one of those things. I'm trying to think about what else is better, fresh and raw.
Like herbs, if you cook them too soon,
like
they get better?
Yeah, like parsley, you don't like simmer away all day. Same thing. It's like
Yeah.
finisher. I know it's not the same as truffles, but I'm trying to think of an analogy here.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, great.
White truffles are more regional, so Italy, France. Black truffles are found in Northern California, Australia, and throughout Europe.
Where do truffles grow?
In the ground.
On what?
I don't remember the class I took.
The truffles grow on the roots of a bunch of different trees.
Mhm.
Oak trees, birch
Hazelnut.
trees, hazelnut trees. They grow on the roots underground, and the ground is very sensitive. So they used to use, interrupt me if you'd rather.
No,
give your spiel.
no. I just didn't, sidebar, is that because I think we're going to do a truffle cheese class, and I
Yeah.
didn't want to go too down the rabbit hole.
No,
So-
this is easy. So
Okay.
they used to use pigs to find the truffles. Strong noses, they could root around in the dirt. 2 reasons why pigs were bad. They were disrupting the dirt too much, and truffles wouldn't grow back, which was not good. And then you could also not train the pig to not eat the truffle. So pigs would be rooting around and then just eat them. So now they use truffle dogs, and they are some form of poodle-looking thing. Like they're fluffy and
Oh,
cost a
I
lot
know
of
the
money.
picture,
Like
yeah.
a lot of money for the dog and a lot of money for the truffle hunting training.
Fluffy truffle dogs.
Yeah, fluffy truffle dogs.
Yeah.
And then these dogs, same
Fluffles.
thing. They
Sorry. I said fluffles, like truffles. Don't worry about it.
same thing. Root around, dig for the truffles more gently, you know, and don't eat the truffles because they're fungus. People think it's a mushroom. It's not a mushroom. It's a fungus. It's like.
To be fair, mushrooms are fungi. I'm just saying.
It's like a square is a rectangle, and a rectangle is a square. Like a.
No.
Okay, you know what I mean.
A rectangle is not a square.
A square is a rectangle.
Yes,
a rectangle
correct.
is not a square. Thank you.
Yeah.
A mushroom is
He means thank you, guys.
Fungus and a
Mushroom is a
tuber.
fungus, and a truffle is
Okay.
a fungus.
Okay. Oh, it's a tuber?
Tuber.
Truffle
A
is
truffle's
not a
a tuber.
mushroom.
Truffle's a tuber,
Okay.
which is a family part of the mushroom family.
Oh,
Yes.
jeez.
But it's not the same.
Okay, okay.
It's not the same.
Okay, we need like a
Sorry.
We need a chart.
Well,
Somebody.
people associate
Yeah.
them the same. They're like, I hate mushrooms, or like, I hate. Really, this is not the same, but anyways, totally lost my train of thought. But
Sorry.
dogs find the truffles,
Yep.
and they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, they are very expensive. They're very rare.
I see your price highlighted right
Yes.
there.
Ooh, what's the price?
Oh, let's play a game.
I already saw the answer.
Cheapest to most expensive.
Right. Whoever get like Price is Right. So whoever gets the closest, go ahead and guess. I'll give you something for free
Without going over?
without going over.
Price per what? Ounce?
Price per ounce.
Of white truffle?
Of
or
white
what?
truffle.
Okay.
Everyone's Googling.
Well, we'll see if we went to the same website.
This is what, like a half an ounce of cheese? Just as 3/4 of an ounce, maybe?
Yeah, it's probably like a half an ounce.
Half an ounce.
I don't know. I just still, like with weights, before I started working here, I was like, I don't know what an ounce is, so.
Is anyone playing, Gina?
Not yet.
We can come back to it at the end.
That is the end.
Well, we can talk
We can
about
talk
our
about
next
our
events and stuff.
next events.
Okay.
Okay.
While I eat this
I
yogurt.
usually write this down ahead of time, so I'm just gonna free ball it, see if I remember everything.
We'll correct you. Just kidding.
We are talking about what our next Fromage Friends is going to be. Possibly truffles.
Yes.
This is a nice segue.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Like truffle. I'm gonna do truffle everything.
Truffle almonds, truffle honey, truffle cheese, truffle
Pate, truffle
Pate,
oil,
truffle
truffle cheese.
mustard. We have truffle mustard too. Everything truffle. It's going to be like an explosion
Truffle
on
chips.
a plate. Oh yes.
I'm all looking
Truffle
around.
hunter
Will it
wine.
be truffle hunter wine?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be wonderful. In the next couple of months or so, our schedule's pretty full class-wise, which is wonderful. On Sunday, if anyone used to come to our Cheese Feast happy hour event here at Del Mar, it was on the third Thursday of every month. It was this whole buffet thing, which, you know, buffets are out the door now. So we're doing a themed happy hour. We're going to call it Cheese Bar in Del Mar. Our patio is all set up with new furniture. It's beautiful out there. You get a cheese plate for one and a glass of wine, and it's going to be $15 for the happy hour. You can come between 3 and 5, however long or not long you'd like to stay. You get a little info sheet on your cheeses, and so it's just a fun little thing to do on a Sunday night. Then, after that, we've got a whiskey and cheese coming up. We've got
Beer and cheese
beer
at
and cheese
Bottlecraft.
at Bottlecraft
Sours and
coming up.
stinkers.
Yeah, we've got a
French cheese.
and wine coming up here
Wow.
at Del Mar in person.
With me and you?
Featuring.
Yes, featuring the two of us and French cheese and
Hitting
wine.
you with the hard facts.
Yes.
And the good wine.
That one is almost sold out. I think there's only 3 tickets left.
Oh,
Ooh.
get to it, people.
Yeah. And then we're bringing back our Dining with the Divas with a Sunday brunch later this
It's
month.
going to be amazing.
Also on the patio, bottomless mimosas. We're going to do a couple demos. I'm going to show how to make ricotta, show how to make our little breakfast casserole, and then of course you'll get to eat it all while you're there. So that's going to be really fun. We're just going crazy with our events. We hope that everyone's excited to be doing them again, because we are. We are.
For sure. We're doing another cocktail class too.
Yes.
I don't know if we have a date for that yet, but
We
if you're
do.
interested in cocktails and cheese, we're going
The
to do
10th of April.
April 10th pairing spring cocktails with some cheese.
Yeah.
I brought you, what's it called? Shrubs? What's the liquid?
A shrub?
Yeah, I brought you some.
Oh,
I'll show you
thanks.
after the class.
What were you going to say, Gina?
Okay, we have a guess.
Oh, okay.
yes.
From Karen for $59 an ounce.
Mm.
Oh.
Any other guesses?
$1.
Was that from Ryan?
Captain Nemo Adventure.
Honey, I read this to you. I read it to you.
Hey, what's the answer?
That's it?
59?
Nope.
No.
What's your guess?
But it is the closest.
An ounce of a white? That's like,
It's the most expensive
I would have thought
food
more.
by weight.
Oh yeah, it is.
I would have said more.
Yeah.
Okay. Like 100. No. 80 something.
$200 an ounce.
Oh my god.
Dang.
Probably went up because of COVID and all that kind of stuff.
Travel, import.
Yes. But Karen, if you want to come by, I will give you, because you're the only one that guessed, right? Doesn't count. So I will give you a treat, something tiny that I can afford on my cheesemonger budget. Thank you.
Karen, we'll hook you up with something cool.
Yes,
all
very
right,
cool.
all right,
Truffle.
Karen.
Truffle,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Ooh,
Just,
a chocolate truffle.
A white truffle? An ounce of a white.
just ask for Christina to get the best.
All right,
all right,
well,
we
I
did
think
it,
we're
guys.
good.
Okay, stop sweating.
Thank you everyone for
Thank
joining
you.
us. We will see you next time for our Fromage with Friends number 9.
Number 9.
If there are other cheeses, now we've kind of made it through our list of, styles of cheese. That's why we're switching to truffle. We'll do some other things, but if there is a cheese maker you want to see us feature, or a specific flavor of cheeses, like we should do a spicy class. I just thought of that.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Have a good night. Enjoy your cheese. We're so glad you're here with us. Cheers.
Thank you.
Karen.
Rachel.
I was pairing.